Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Hamzah Sheeraz, let's have a little chat about him because he looked extremely impressive, at least superficially, against Liam Williams. Now I say superficially because Williams to me looked like a shot fighter. His legs were just not there. He's only 31, but some fighters, they age prematurely, I guess. And although Williams isn't slurring his words or anything, the fact that he's been floored, he was floored 4 times against Chris Eubank. He was over against Andrade. And he went down from a jab. An uppercut clipped him, and he was on the floor twice against Sheeraz. And I'm not taking anything away from Sheeraz because Sheeraz did what he could do, did what he had to do, and looked impressive doing it. I'm a big fan of Hamzah Sheeraz, but you have to take into consideration the fact that Williams may well have been shot. But he got out of there in, what was it, 2 minutes and 36 seconds or something, less than around. You can't knock that. But the question I want to ask with this video is, that fight aside, how good is Hamzah Sheeraz? Because certainly for the weight, he is enormous for the weight. He's 24 years old. He's 6'3". He makes middleweight with ease. How good would he be against some of the other middleweights? Now, I'm not going to go to world level yet because this kid is, there's no rush. He's 24. There's no rush. So let's concentrate on the domestic scene. Well, the champion at the moment is Nathan Heaney. And, he beat Denzel Bentley in that surprising upset. He's got Brad Pauls next. How do you think Sheeraz would do against Nathan Heaney? Well, Heaney's proved himself. He's proved that he can beat a world-class fighter, which was, Denzel Bentley. I almost forgot his name for a moment. Yeah, Bentley wasn't at the races then, and he looked out of sorts, and he looked to me like he'd taken Heaney too lightly. He's been stopped before. He lost on points to Heaney. But he's been stopped before in 3 rounds by Felix Cash in a very strange performance that was. Would I pick Sheeraz to beat Heaney or Bentley? I certainly think he'd have a chance. I'd probably pick him to beat Heaney, yeah, I would. Bentley's crafty. I don't think he'd take Sheeraz lightly. What is he, in his 30s now? I don't think Sheeraz would knock out Bentley. I think he might knock out Heaney. But these are just sort of cursory thoughts that are going through my mind. I haven't really thought about those matchups. But the point is that Sheeraz would be in the mix and might even start as a favourite. So I think he'd start as a favourite over Heaney. I think Heaney is an overachiever. I think Sheeraz is still getting better. And of course, the fighter that did stop Bentley several years ago is Felix Cash, who's been inactive. He hasn't fought since the back end of 2022. That would be an interesting matchup for Sheeraz. Yeah, I think that would be a good one. That would be a very good one. Now, a guy who I think is he a middleweight or is he going back to 154? That would be Liam Smith. He looks to me like he might be at the back end of his career. He didn't look shot in the rematch with Eubank, and of course he does hold that knockout win over Chris Eubank Jr. But Smith, what is he currently? Is it 33 wins and 4 or 5 defeats, 1 draw, I think. That would be, the old gunslinger versus the young punk. And Sheeraz, again, huge for the weight. I would think he would stand a very, very good chance of beating Smith, maybe stopping him. I just think Smith doesn't look to me like a big 160 fighter. I reckon at a push, if he looked after himself, he could probably make 154. Although he said he struggled to make 160. He put on a ton of weight due to injury and he was lounging around. I don't know. I just think he's on the back end of his career now. But let's talk a little bit. I know he's world class, and I said I wasn't going to go down world class route, but let's talk about Chris Eubank Jr., who still insists he's a 160 fighter, and I guess he is. I mean, he spent several years at 168. Then, even though he's now in his mid-30s, he's come back down to 160. And in the rematch against Smith, he looked good. How would he fare against the enormous Sheeraz? Be a fascinating fight. I would pick Eubank to win that fight at the moment, because I think Sheeraz is getting better and will be a much better fighter. I don't think he's reached his peak yet, either physically or in terms of his talents. We haven't seen him go through the gears. There is still that slight question mark over the Bradley Skeet fight, where he should have been disqualified, in my opinion, but Skeet was clearly winning that fight. Now, okay, you can say Sheeraz was really 21, 22 at the time, 21. Yeah, I don't hold that against him. I mean, that was actually a very brave matchup, Sheeraz taking on a veteran Skeet at such a young age. And he did, after all, get the win, no matter how controversial it was. But I really think Sheeraz, when all is said and done, will be the future of the middleweight division domestically. Can he go to European level? I would fully expect him to. Can he go to world level eventually? I would be surprised if he is not a world-class fighter by the time he's about 26, 27, 28. Give him another couple of years. I see no hurry with this kid. I think he should go for I'm always advocating the British route, then the European, then world. He's got the Commonwealth belt already. He's got a couple of good names in Skeet and Williams on his record now. Guys who are at the back end of their career. I think he's lovely to watch as well. I mean, he boxes beautifully, rangy, very precise, fires the correct punches when he needs to. I mean, the uppercut that he caught Williams with. I know Williams was coming in and wasn't steady on his feet after that jab knockdown, but instantly Sheeraz knew which punch to fire, which was the uppercut. So he seems to have a good ring IQ. I think he's got a massive future ahead of him, and I'm looking forward to watching how it unfolds. And I'll be surprised if he doesn't end up as a world-class fighter, probably a world champion. If he lives the life, if he stays dedicated, stays on the straight and narrow, doesn't fall in love with himself and start acting like a fool, I think he's going to probably be a world champ. And it might be at more than one weight, because there's no way on God's earth he's going to stay at middleweight, not the size he is. I think he'll end up as a light heavyweight. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Certainly a super middleweight at the very least, but probably a light heavyweight. So he'll be looking for belts, maybe in more than one division. You just don't know. But like I say, there's no hurry. I really enjoy watching this kid. Good fighter. And let me know your thoughts as well. Let me know what you think of Hamzah Sheeraz. How far do you think he can go? And who would you like to see him in with next? I think the winner of Heaney versus Pauls is a natural for the British belt. And then maybe make a defence against Denzel Bentley. Felix Cash has been quiet, but I want to see Sheeraz in with these guys before he jumps up to world level, because I think if he wipes the floor and he cleans out the division at domestic level, that'll be a perfect education for him, and then he can move, having built that foundation, he can build on that and move to European level, move to world level. That would be what I would suggest. He's with Frank Warren's team, the Queensberry team. Yeah, I mean, they're looking after him. Frank's been in the game for decades. He knows how to bring young fighters on. So good luck to Hamzah Sheeraz. Yeah, real impressed with this kid. Very, very impressed. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think of Hamzah. Who he should fight next. If you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That would be a big help. Much appreciated. And also hit the like button if you don't mind, because apparently they count them. I don't know why, but they do. Anyway, thanks a lot. Looking forward to reading your comments, and bye for now.